Reinheitsgrebot!
Are you okay?
Why, yes, Patrick, I am okay. See, we, the Brews Brothers, Patrick and Joseph, myself, are here to talk to you, the wonderful drinking people of the world, about Reinheitsgrebot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're upstairs in our cask room here in our little malt corner, and we're going to give you the 411 on Reinheitsgrebot.
We're going to tell you what Reinheitsgrebot is all about. So essentially, today, Reinheitsgrebot is a German purity law, which says that beer can contain only 4 ingredients in Germany. So that is water, hops, barley, and yeast, which is everywhere, people. So when you're thinking about that, you got to think about the actual very dumbed down basic version of how do you make beer.
Make it so I can understand it.
Exactly. I'm here to simplify things for people to the best of my ability because I like to try to dumb things down for people because I'm not an intelligent man myself. So really, you have your water and you have your barley. Now you take your barley and you're going to put it in your water and you're going to boil that. It's boiling.
That's boiling. I see the bubbles.
It's very hot too. Don't touch that. So essentially that's going to then release sugars. You're going to take all your yeast that's out there, you're going to put that into this little brewing process, which you already know that's going to create carbon dioxide and alcohol. You know that because you tuned in last week.
Ales versus lagers.
Yep. So throughout that entire process, you are going to periodically season it with hops. And then, at the end result, you have beer.
Good beer.
Yes. But really, the big question is, because you folks already know what beer is, but why does this law even exist? Now, I'm not a history professor, and you seem like a very smart man here,
well,
Patrick.
Yes. Let me enlighten you. So, this law, it's really not the first beer purity law ever, but it is the most famous. And it came about in the 16th century, in 1516, and basically the decree meant or said that beer, to be called beer, had to include only 3 things: water, hops, and barley.
Wait. Now, I may not, again, be the smartest person in the world, but didn't we just tell everyone that it needs to contain yeast as well? Didn't we do like a whole thing about that last week? Oh.
We did.
Okay.
So we have the benefit of hindsight. So in the 16th century, brewers didn't yet know or understand the role of yeast in fermenting their beer. So they'd leave their tanks open to the air to ferment, and unbeknownst to them, all the yeast and bacteria that are in the air naturally were getting into their wort, and they were fermenting this beer. It really wasn't even till 1906 that yeast was officially added to Reinheitsgebot as a okay ingredient to be in there.
So really, beer is just some sort of beautiful, beautiful, tasty accident that happened.
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
But the 3 main reasons for why Reinheitsgebot was necessary dates back to when this came in the 16th century. Beer, while it was a relaxation tool, was also a big part of everybody's diet and their nutritional requirements. A lot of times beer was safer to drink than water because of the boiling and the sterilization of it.
I still believe that to be true today.
Absolutely. So the first reason for it was everybody consumed so much alcohol, or it was a part of everyday life. There needed to be pricing protection so that these people didn't get price gouged.
Exactly. So you want to feel relaxed, but you can't feel relaxed if you're spending too much money.
You got no cash.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So it was to make sure that there wasn't price gouging taking place. The second big reason was it lessened the demand on wheat and oats. By wheat and oats not being allowed in beer, it didn't create competition for those grains between brewers and bakers.
Brewers and bakers need to live in ceremonial, harmonious existence because of the fact that really beer is just a liquid form of bread.
Who doesn't like a pretzel with their beer too, right? We need to be able to afford both. So that's the second big part. The third big part was it protected the people from drinking beers that had harmful, poisonous, sometimes even hallucinogenic additives, preservatives, or other flavorings added to the beer. So this made those illegal, protected the consumer against being hurt.
So what you're saying is that because of Reinheitsgrebot, this beer cannot kill me.
That, yes.
Okay.
So,
all right,
so
all
many
right.
words.
I feel pretty safe
Absolutely.
now. Yep.
So I think one of the coolest things to think about Reinheitsgebot is literally it might be considered the world's first consumer protection law.
Wow.
So us beer guys, we've been thinking about you consumers since the 16th century.
500 plus years.
We
people.
love you guys.
We really do.
So yeah, and a couple other key dates to kind of throw out there about it. So it wasn't until 1987. In 1987, the European Union Court of Justice struck down Reinheitsgebot and made it so that imported beer and beer outside of that style of the four primary ingredients was allowed to be sold in Germany on tap and on shelves. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow,
and
that's awesome.
2005.
I remember that happening in 2005.
In 2005, they loosened the reins a little bit on Reinheitsgebot, and they made it so that beers like our Game Day Belgian wheat or our Hawaiian Destination IPA with wheat malt and fruit were actually allowed to be produced in Germany. They just had to be brewed or labeled under the term special beers.
So thanks to this amendment, the wonderful people of Germany can now enjoy beer the same way that us wonderful Americans enjoy beer by importing things like our wonderful beer that we have here and our flavored beers, or specialty beers is what they like to call it, special beers.
So another interesting thing I think is worth pointing out, there's some concerns about if you limit the ingredients that you have, are you limiting the amount of creations that you can make? And people who defend Reinheitsgebot, they basically will say, look, right now there is 100 different kinds of hops, 40 different kinds of malts, and 200 yeast strains available for you to use to create different things. You could literally drink a different beer from all those ingredients, one a day, for 15 years and not duplicate anything.
Well, I'm going to try to speed up that process by doing 3 beers a day over the next 5 years, because I like to expedite things a little bit here.
Absolutely. So it's cool to just know that there's so many different hops and there's so many different flavors, malts and flavors that come from them. And you might think, I don't like hops, but you know what? You might like hops if you try the different kinds and kind of understand the different tastes that they
Or you
impart.
may learn that you love malt, as I do.
He's loving his malt. So people love to celebrate German purity laws. It's really like a point of pride for everyone there, and they do it every year, right?
Of course.
And
Germans do it the best.
at Oktoberfest. So if you're interested, you could go to next year's, which would be in April, and it would be the 502nd
Wow.
Oktoberfest.
Now, Patrick, what about the people who can't make it to Germany in a few months?
So if you can't make it to Germany, we've got another world-class event to talk about happening right this weekend in Western New York.
Wow.
So it's the 33rd Taste of Buffalo, which is the largest 2-day food festival in the United States.
In the United States.
In the United States.
Wow, that is crazy.
So New York Beer Project will be making our debut there. We're going to be down there slinging some delicious food that we make, and we're also going to offer our Game Day Belgian Wit and Hawaiian Destination IPA at the beer tents down there. So check them out, pair it with some of our food. And what else? We got a bunch of things going on around town this weekend, Joe.
I mean, really the best way to enjoy the beer here brewed at New York Beer Project is to come out to New York Beer Project or head out to a Bison's game. Bison's games where you can now get your Walter's Jelly Donut and our Destination on tap, or check out one of the many Western New York brewery beer pubs that do have our beer on tap now, or head out to the New York Beer Project. Even tonight, why wait? We have our trivia going on tonight. Last week we had 21 teams. That is the most teams that we've ever had here. So come out for some spirited competition in a wonderful setting.
Absolutely. We also do bands on Friday night, so we've got a band this Friday night.
Yeah, we're going to be having the Grove Street Band come out from Rochester, New York. So they're going to be coming out starting at 9 p.m. But really, you forgot to mention the most important thing, and that's that me and Patrick, we actually, along with the rest of you folks, we have a date going on. Date with the Blondes. You remember that, right? We got select.
So, my wife's watching.
Yeah. Remember last year, folks, that we did a competition with flavored blonde ales, and we promised you that we would produce the winning flavor. That was going to be my personal favorite, the cherry blonde. You remember her? She was. Not her.
We're talking about beer here.
Yes, we are talking about it. We got to cool it off a little bit.
It's a little carried away.
Yeah.
So and also this Sunday we're gonna crack our next installment in our mashup series with Perry's Ice Cream. We've got our coconut Caribbean blonde ale. So you can come out this weekend and check that out here. See us at the Taste of Buffalo. Get a pint at Consumers Beer Garden on the Outer Harbor or Bison's Game. And there's plenty to do this weekend for sure.
Absolutely. So now that we set you guys up for your week to come, make sure you stop in and tune in next Thursday at noonish, so that we can set you up for your following week.
Thank you guys. Cheers, and we'll see you soon.
Prost.